Lenny Johnson Award for Outstanding Musicianship at the Berklee College of Music in both 1981 and 1982. I'll give you a hint. It's the same guy who won the Phil Woods Award and the Boston Jazz Society Award in 1983. Any guesses? The answer, of course, Walter Beasley, who's now amazed that we knew all this about him. And he's also an accomplished singer and songwriter, keyboardist, and multi-reed musician. Walter is based out of Boston, where he is an assistant professor at the Berklee School of College of Music, and he is also a recording artist for Polygram Records. It's my pleasure to welcome back to Video Soul, helping us out with saxophone special here, Walter Beasley. Good to have you on the show, man.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Seemed like it wasn't that long ago that you were here.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
How've things been going for you?
Pretty nice.
Hey, what have you been up to?
Teaching. The semester started in September, and that's about it. Did a couple of concerts over the summer, so it was pretty nice. I had a nice time.
Just a couple of concerts?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Yeah. Atlanta, Jack the Rapper. Performed Jack the Rapper, and a couple in Boston. So it was pretty nice. I got time to relax from the teaching and play a couple of dates and practice. So.
Do you like that when you get a chance to get out and perform live?
Yes, yes. I like it a lot.
You like it more than being in the studio recording?
About the same. It's about the same. I take joy out of both of them. Give joy out of both of them, man. It's pretty nice.
When you go out on stage and perform live, do you blow the song exactly the same way? Oh, you don't?
No, it's quite different. I try to put a lot more emphasis on communicating with the people in front of me, you know, and in any way that I can get my message across, more so than in the studio setting. You don't have that many people to look at, number one. So,
yeah, right.
You know, so it's much more personal interaction with the audience.
So when you're performing on stage, you say getting your message across. How do you get a message across with the saxophone?
By singing. Usually, if you sing or if you come close to it, or if you listen to singers in your life, they communicate a message in a way that most instrumentalists try to communicate one. And because of vocal, I mean, your voice is something that's so so natural. So you try to, in my philosophy anyway, I try to sing as much as I can through the horn, and that way I think I can touch people that way a little bit better than any other.
So you feel the song just as much when you're standing there blowing that saxophone. You feel it just like Anita Baker does when she's singing lyrics. You have the same feeling for a song.
You have to. You have to. If you don't, then you miss out on the whole communication process.
Yeah.
There's no way you can separate it.
Have you seen artists that don't do that, that don't feel it?
And they don't get their message across.
Oh, really?
No, no. In fact, those are the artists that usually people end up walking out of concerts or whatever. Or they come away saying, I don't understand what he played, I don't understand what he did. And I don't want people to walk away from my concert saying that. So I try my best to talk to them.
Okay. I've never seen you in concert, but I saw George Howard last year in Houston. And I was blown away because when I think of jazz concerts, you know, I remember going to Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit and watching Grover Washington Jr. and George Benson. You know, really nice little jazz club, and it was real mellow and everything. And then I went to see George, man, and people were dancing. And
it's a whole different type of scene now.
Is that the same thing for you? I mean, is that the kind of vibe you get?
Well, the neck starts snapping back and forth, and people smile and stuff. You know, and I'm so happy comes on. So it's just a happier time. I think jazz is starting to reach more people, and the nature of the music is changing so much, and that R&B is starting to be incorporated so much more, especially in the younger saxophone players, that younger people are starting to enjoy it, and you feel it. You know, you feel music, you feel it in your feet, just like you feel it up here and here, you know, whatever. It's just, you just get going.
Why is that? Why is it changing like that? Is it out of necessity, the artist trying to make records that the kids are going to like, a little more than just a hardcore jazz fan, or is it just a natural progression of things?
Well, for me, speaking for myself, it dates back to people like, say, Grover Washington Jr. and Ronnie Laws, in that there was a sense that jazz was only being gotten by the people who were intellectually superior, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So when they started to express themselves, at least, you know, when I heard them, it just seemed like it was more down home, and it was just like they cared about me as much as any other person, and it didn't make any difference that I wasn't a musician at the time, but they wanted me to enjoy their music just as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, I think people really have to like I said before, just communicate and maybe hold your hand out a little bit as far instead of just playing. If you want to play music by yourself all day, you would just go in the closet and just play all the time and never come out and play for anyone. But you have to reach out and you have to use those musical things that people like to hear or whatever, just to make a make a statement or have a conversation rather.
Was Grover the biggest influence on you?
Yeah.
As a saxophone?
Yeah, he was. He was like the father of the R&B type of thing for me. He could take a song and make it his own, with his own interpretation. And I had never heard that before until I heard him play. At least in my lifetime. There were others who had done it, of course, but in the 70s especially, he could take any song, Michael Jackson's song, and just, make it his own interpretation. I just end up in another place, and I said, I want to do that. So I want to do that. I got to do that. I need to be able to do that.
And this is just from listening to him on records?
Oh, yeah. I had never seen him play. I had never, ever seen him play. I memorized every solo he had ever done on every album for 7 years.
Really?
7 years, up to the Wine Light album.
Uh-huh.
And then that was the first time I had gotten to see him play was when he came to Boston after, in fact, the Celtics had beaten the Sixers. And all.
No.
He was a little upset, so he played his behind off that night.
In Boston?
In Boston. Then turned around and shot. They had a little rim up there in Boston. Turned around and shot the ball, and he said, "That's for the Celtics," and walked off and left.
Is that right? Did he make the shot?
Yeah, he made the shot. He made the shot, and everybody was standing up clapping. Everybody was already hollering anyway. He just turned around, made the shot, and just went on his way.
Now, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. Very much. I'm very impressed.
Well, he's going to be on the show later on.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grover's going to be on the show. So this is going to be a very special show. This is Sax Monday on Video Soul.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at video. This is called Call Me Now on Video Soul. Walter Beasley.